Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Tanks Blitz. We're going to be doing a review here of the M6A2E1, which is a special Goose Tales reward tank. Now, the M6A2E1 is a rare tank to see on the PC, or it was until 1st of April 2017. As to how many people actually bought it on the 1st of April, because they did release this thing for one day only on April 1st. And not as a joke either. You could actually get this tank. Or at least you could get this tank. Oh, we won that game. Hold on. Sorry, I have to check. Yeah. Okay, I didn't do that well. Damn it. Oh well. But, yeah, so they did. Because, of course, this tank was only given away in the beta, or rather, this tank was only given away in the beta of World of Tanks PC, and it was never put on sale for the 6 years that World of Tanks PC has been around. But they did on 1st of April, and that made very many people very upset. And as much as I wanted it, I didn't get it out of respect for the people who did have this tank. So, Blitz has it instead, so I was like, I'll get it on Blitz, since Blitz is really my collector's edition. You know, World of Tanks, so may as well just get it on here. So, as you can see in the Goose Tales, you can get 2 tanks. I just went ahead and skipped them all because I just couldn't wait, because I was so excited for these things. I'm not going to play them for a little bit, because of course everyone will just go, oh, you spent loads of gold to get it when you could get it for free. Yeah, but I was never going to get it for free. It'd be like getting the Tankenstein. I didn't get the Tankenstein for free. I just skipped all of the missions in order to actually... Well, I did as many missions as I could in the Tankenstein, and... Well, the Goose Tales thing, it's alright, but I mean... Coupons, they're decent. It's opening crates, but fun, because you can also get pins in them, but I mean... Well... I mean... 33k, I mean, to actually get both of the tanks, I would have needed another 97.2k, so I was never going to get that, so I may as well just skip it now. I could have skipped it for less, but I couldn't be bothered. So, just got ahead. But anyway, enough of the rambling. What is this? This is a Tier 7 American heavy tank. And as you can see, it's got 48% protection, 47% firepower, 77% of shot effectiveness, and 32% maneuverability. Now, recognize, well, at least look at these things. So 48, 47, 77, 32. Alright? Let's go to its bigger brother at Tier 8. 60, 54, 97, 32. They're pretty much the same, almost. Except this has got better survivability due to more HP. But that's basically it. So, what do you need to know about this tank? Well, 1300 HP is actually pretty low for the amount of HP. I mean, the Tankenstein has got 1350, and that's got a fairly low amount of HP. It's not as low as the IS-2, which has got a pitiful 1230, which at Tier 7 isn't that great. But I mean, Tiger 1, Tiger P, they've both got 1450. What else you got? Well, you got America. America has, of course, got at Tier 7... T29? Yes, T29, which with the upgraded turret gives it 1250 HP. You've of course got Britain, where you've got the Black Prince, which has got, let's have a look, 1450 HP, so it's sort of mid-range. It's not that great, but it's pretty much on the low side. It's definitely in the low side of the amount of HP at this tier. However, the frontal armour makes up for it, 191 at the front for both the turret and the hull, which is very good actually, because if you think Tankenstein's got 200 at the front of the hull, as for the front of the turret it's only 150, you've got the IS-2 which has only got 100, but at the front of it has got sloping, but even so this has got sloping as well. It's got some sloping, so it's more like 200 or so millimeters. The Tiger 1 has only got 100. The Tiger P has got 200 at the front of the hull, with another 100 at the front of the turret, but the turret's a bit of an odd place on the Tigers. So the armour is very good at the front. However, the side and rear of the hull, 44 and 41, which is pitiful. It's really, really terrible. So the rear armor is terrible for the hull. Shots will go through it like butter, no matter how you try and angle it, which means that this thing really is the anti-side scraping tank. Because those sides and rear is terrible. As for the hull, something to note is that, as you can see from the front of the hull, it's like the Tiger P and the Tankenstein, where these cheeks will get weaker as you turn them. So if you try and angle your tank like that, coming around the side of a house, that will be a weak spot, because they can penetrate straight through the side of the hull right there. Other than that, it's solid at the front. As for the turret armor, 89 at the side, which is terrible. However, the rear it's 208, and that's because that is all balanced. To balance out the really big gun, they just plonked a load of metal on the rear of the tank, very much like how they did on the T-34, where this part of the T-34 is literally solid metal, because that's where the ballast is mounted, so that is all just heavyweight ballast which acts as armor, which is why the T-34's turret has got 203 rear armor, because, well, it's got loads of ballast at the rear. And it's the same thing with the M6A2E1, which is that this is ballast. The top of the tank, actually, it looks cool, to be honest. It's a very unique design. It's the mutant, or the alien, as it's known as. However, in Russia, for some reason, it's known as the goose. Due to the turret, I think. It's known as the goose, which is why it's called Goose Tails, rather than Alien Invasion or something. But generally, to the EU community, this is known as the mutant or the alien, because of the weird shaped head it has. But yeah, so it's got very strong frontal armor, sides and rears not so much, apart from the turret. As for the weight, it weighs 67.66 tons with a 960 horsepower engine, which means that it should have a pretty decent power to weight ratio. It can go at 29 kilometers per hour, 25 degrees per second hull traverse, 24.5 degrees per second turret traverse. It's not that great, but, well, there are heavy tanks with worse. Yes, I'm looking at you, Tankenstein. So it's not that bad. As for the engine, there it is, 20% chance of fire and impact. View range 255 meters, which is decent. 70-ton load limit, which means you do have a couple of tons to play around with. So you can mount all of your heavyweight equipment and that. As for the gun, it's a 105mm gun T5E1E, which has got a 5.47 rate of fire rounds per minute with my equipment loadout and 100% crew. This thing comes with 100% crew. As for penetration, it's got decent enough penetration. 198 at tier 7 is good enough. I mean, after all, the IS-2 has only got 175, as does the Blaze WZ. Tigers have got 203, which is slightly above. I mean, the Tankenstein has only got 196, so 198 is passable at tier 7. That's actually pretty good penetration at tier 7, sorry. 245 with APCR, which is pretty good. 53 with high explosive, decent enough damage. 310 AP and APCR, 400 with high explosive. The accuracy, however, not that great. 0.39 dispersion with a 5.1 second aim time. That's pretty terrible accuracy and aim time. I mean, there are guns with worse, looking at the Russians, but for an American gun, it's not that great, really. So yeah, those are the basic things, and that's about it for the soft stats. Once again, 48% protection, 47% firepower, 77% shot effectiveness, and 32% maneuverability. Carries 60 rounds of ammunition though, which is decent. That'll get you through a plentiful amount of game. As for equipment, actually, I've mounted a gun rammer, improved vents, and enhanced gun lane drive because they were on sale. So I went for all of the top equipment. So yeah, obviously gun lane drive because, well, the accuracy isn't that great, the aim time isn't that great. I mean, it would be a 5.6 second aim time if I didn't have this. And then, of course, the dispersion would be even worse if I didn't have the improved vents, and 3.39 accuracy still isn't that great, so I mean, without that, it would be even worse. But yeah, so you're going to want to have these three equipped. If not, yeah, you've always got vertical stabilizers for 20% accuracy during movement and turret rotation, which you could do. Turret doesn't turn that quickly, so I mean, you may want that. Enhanced springs for suspension durability, you could do if you don't want your track keep getting blown off. Tanks filled with CO2 and wet ammo for plus 50% ammo and fuel tank durability. You could do if you keep getting ammo or set on fire. Binos and camo net, no, this really is a heavy tank. It's not a sniper, so I would say no, don't bother with those two. Coated optics if you really want the boost in view range, but you don't want to carry the binos, then you've always got that. Spore liner, 15% to armor protection from ramming and explosions. Well, not many things are going to be ramming you, and well, not many things at this tier really fire high explosives, so I would say no to heavy spore liner. Toolbox for 20% to 25% to repair speed is always useful, so I mean, yeah, there's always that. So that's always something useful to put on, but I think generally these three things would be the most effective. As for provisions, you've got standard or improved fuel for plus 3 or 10% respectively to engine power turret traverse. Then you've got the can of cola and the case of cola for plus 3 or 10% respectively to crew mastery. And then you've got the protective kit, 15% of protection of crew from injuries, 10% speed and module repairs, 20% fire protection, and 10% ammo and fuel tank durability. So you could go with those three things. I generally don't put consumables or other provisions on, unless it's a rapid fire gun, which this thing definitely isn't. As for consumables, you've got the standard repair kit, first aid kit, fire extinguisher. And then you've also got the engine power boost, 20% to engine power for 15 seconds. Adrenaline, 20% to low speed, 10% chance of damaging enemy vehicle modules. Then you've got the multi-purpose restoration pack, which extinguishes fire, repairs all damaged modules, and heals all crew members, which are basically these three things rolled into one. Now, the reason that I go with these three rather than an adrenaline and power boost in one of these is because say you have your adrenaline and your engine power boost and one of these, and you get your track blown off and you need to get out of there because three IS-3s are aiming on you, for example. So you burn your multi-purpose restoration pack and you get your track back up and you motor on. Then 10 seconds later you get hit and set on fire. What do? You keep burning because you don't have a automatic fire extinguisher because you've burnt your multi-purpose restoration pack. So yeah, that's why I generally go with these three, and rather than the bottom three, as it were. But of course, if you want to, then you can fit these things. Many people do fit adrenaline and power boost and all of that, but I generally don't. But if you want to, then they are, of course, there. And then as for skills, I can't say much because Blitz does their skills differently. But yeah, so there's that. So overall, it's looking like a solid heavy tank. It should be fun to play once I start seeing a couple of people actually in their M6A2E1s. So once I actually see these things about on the battlefield, I will then jump into mine and join the party, because it's going to be fun playing these things. I'm super hyped about playing them. But yeah, that's the M6A2E1. Thank you for watching. And